Hi, this is Natalie with the Vintage Cross Stitch Niche. This will be a short video. I have this video because I'm making this video because I'm experimenting doing my videos in a different room. Number one, I think this room has better light, and number two, I can close the door and not have to hear everybody in the background and my husband and all that other nonsense. Let's see, am I cutting my head off? No, it looks good. So, we'll just go over a few things today. Number one, I'm going to do another magazine tour. Probably a few of them, maybe 2 or 3. I don't know, let me think about it. But at least another vintage magazine and another punch needle and primitive stitcher magazine. So that'll be towards the end of the video. I'm going to show you my new finds. I'm going to show you some new ideas, some new linen, and my latest whip. So first off, I finally started the colored area, or I'm getting somewhere. This is the Little House Needleworks Louisa Snow Sampler. And on my own dyed linen. All of the top part is already done. And right now I'm doing the bottom, and I think it's coming out amazing. There, she gave more than one option. She gave a 2 over-dyed options, a DMC option, and a silk option. I chose the over-dyed option, which I felt is closest, which she said is closest to the original. And then, of course, the fabric I really wanted to make, but I think this is coming out amazing. I think this will look like an antique sampler when I'm done with the antique looking fabric and the color choices. So I'm doing well on that, actually. I'm going to work on that more. My goal was to finish this by Monday. I don't know if that's going to happen. 2 charts. Yeah. I didn't really want to buy any charts, but sometimes I see them and I'm like, oh, I got to get that. So the first one's by Seju, and what's interesting is that there is English and French, but then when you go to the chart, it's only in French, but I believe it is self-explanatory, and of course, it's in DMC. This one is called Hansel and Gretel. I've never seen it before, and I thought it was amazing. So, I was thinking of making this sort of Halloween-y maybe, and doing this in Halloween colors, maybe. I don't know, this one's going to take a lot of thought. So we have that. The second chart I have been looking for a long time, because I saw this finish on one of the Flosstube videos by Gary Parr, and I forgot the name of his videos, but they're like podcasts, he called them, but some of them are videos. And he went to the attic. This is Threads of Gold, Sarah Abraham, and the picture doesn't do this justice. I just love the little leaves, and this is a gorgeous sampler. I don't know when I'm going to start it because I have so many. When I looked at this and I looked at the quality of the paper, I thought it was fake. I don't think the person I bought it from would sell a fake chart, because she has a legitimate shop. But then I saw there is something here that says Emily's on it that I think this was reproduced in a very sort of a cheap way. I have the Threads of Gold charts, some of the old ones, some of the original ones, and they're on glossy paper and cardboard, cardstock. So they're pretty nice. And I'm actually surprised that these new charts are on, it looks like somebody took it to a Xerox machine. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's what they did. On the other hand, I'm happy to have it. So this is Threads of Gold, Sarah Abraham. I don't know if I'm the only one who pays attention to the quality of charts. I know some of the younger stitchers especially do charts off of pads. I need to have hard copy in front of me. Just like I can't read a book that's on one of those book pads. No, I have to have the actual book and feel it and look at it. So anyway, this is once again Threads of Gold, and it is Sarah Abraham reproduction chart. That's my husband. He's staring at me through the window. Hold on. I'm back. So anyway, my husband was peeking through the door. The way this room works is there's actually 2 glass doors. It's sort of an antique room because I'll show you in a few minutes, but there's a antique mantle in here which was left from the previous owner, and it's magnificent. There's no fireplace. It's got a 1970s wood, one of those wood fireplaces that turns, and I left it. I think it's so cool. So anyway, I call this the antique room. I've got books, piano, we've got a couch in here, and it's a second guest room because we have a guest room, and this would have been the 3rd bedroom in the house, so people do sleep on the couch in here, and also there's plenty of room to put a blow-up bed, so we call this the second guest room. Anyway, that's an aside. So I was showing you Sarah Abraham. That's it for charts. I did get another one of the Garand Toten bags, the Downton Abbey one. It's nice, and I'm a huge Downton Abbey fan, so I'm very happy. My only, I didn't think this was that exciting a fabric when I saw it, when it came in real life. With that said, the bag is beautifully made. It's got Velcro. I like the inside even better than the outside because the inside has this nice writing. And of course it's got Highclere Castle on it. Garand tote bags are not sold in stores, they're sold off his website. The Cross Stitch Cupboard used to sell them, and she no longer has them now. I don't know why. She sold out, and she doesn't carry them now. But he sells them direct online, and because he sells them direct, the prices are very good, obviously. There's no middleman. They make them in their house, and it's Gary and Ron. And they have a huge following. Their page is much bigger than mine. Their YouTube channel is called Sunshine Stitchers, and of course it's very popular. So just to let you know, those are these people, although the guy who actually makes this, Ronnie, is not in those videos, or I have never seen him in the videos. So my new bag, Downton Abbey, which is one of my loves. So okay. Should I show you the vintage finds or should I show you the fabric? No, let's show you the vintage finds first. This box, handmade, solid wood, old box. Looks old, smells old, just to show you. Very practical, very prim, and this will make a great box to mount a project on, or to mount a project on top and then maybe mount another one inside or line with fabric. I'm going to make a kit out of this. I think it's really fabulous, this box. So this was a lucky vintage find. Another vintage find, this little Demitasse cup. And the reason I got this one are the graphics. We've got what looks like to be pomegranates. I want to make sure you can see that. Can you see it? Pomegranates on one side, a cherry on the other, and of course there's fruit. And the coloration, the pomegranates all point to fall. I think this will make a beautiful fall project. I saw it and I was like, wow. And I don't think it's ever been used. It says Schmid, Germany, so it's German porcelain. Anything English, French, German, or you may see Bavarian. English, French, German, Bavarian, Japanese, American, all good stuff. So, and obviously the Germans put a lot of thought, and this is pretty much mint condition because I don't think it was used. And when I saw it, I said, wow, it's a fall cup. I've never seen one so fall. So, this is really cool. This says Toronto, Canada, made by ARC Industries. ARC is a society of handicapped individuals of some sort. The label, just to show you, is definitely a 70s label. And the item looks old and feels old and is old. And it is a little shoe, a pointy shoe. This is the real deal. It's the real vintage. It's 50 years. Excuse me. It is 50 years old. And it's nice. We'll make a great shoe. We'll make a great pin cushion for that one. Another find, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. This actually is not old. This is Party Light, which is modern. So I guess it's an ornament. Oops. That was my fear here, is that that's going to open. So it's got a little latch here. There we go. It's a little ornament. I'm just wondering, scissors can fit in it quite easily. So this easily can be a little scissor holder, something that's hanging, or make a beautiful little pin cushion ornament. So your pin cushion goes inside. I just thought it was cute. It's not vintage, but it's pretty. So sometimes I buy pretty stuff and not vintage. This box is vintage. This looks like, I would guesstimate, 1970s. And it's just a box that's got another box inside, which I really did like that idea. So this box has got a box, and it's sort of decoupage. Very nice graphics, just to show you. Very, very nice graphics. Got gold foil. Definitely not contemporary. It wouldn't be made this nice. And who knows what this was for. Maybe it was a gift box, maybe not. But the little Christmas chest. Even if I put a nice piece of fabric here and sell it with some goodies as a Christmas chest, I think it would be neat. I think it would make a fabulous kit where you put the pin cushion inside. And I personally would line this with fabric, vintage fabric, and you have your removable pin cushion and then your storage underneath and your perfect little box. You probably could use this to store your threads in, anything for Christmas. And so I'm gonna make this into a Christmas kit, and I think it's cool. What else? Hard to believe I found this much stuff, but I did this week. This is tin, an old cookie cutter. These make beautiful ornaments. You can put the linen. You can actually use this and trace it and make something in this shape and put it in here and make a beautiful ornament and hang it on your tree. I think one of the just cross stitch ornaments will fit in here, and this is going to be very pretty. This is old. This is old. A tin Christmas tree. Very cool. I love it. This is not in great condition, but it was really cheap. So it's Hall kitchenware, which is made in US a long time ago, and it's a little mini teapot, coffee pot. And I just thought it was very cool looking. This is not for cross stitch. I can't imagine what you'd use it for, other than maybe if it was open, you could store stuff in it, like your scissors and whatever, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. And finally, this. So what is it? Somebody made this. It's got buttons, wire, some sort of spool, and this is really practical. You can store your scissors here. You can hang, definitely could hang some hoops on this. How is this kit going to go? Well, I'm going to remind you I was working on this. Just to remind you, here, this is my floss. I'm working on this. And this is not the right size spool, but it's close. So I'm going to find a piece of this, what do you call this, banding that can go around this, and that will be your kit. And that is just cool. And somebody made this. Who knows who made it, when, why, but I think this is awesome. So it will be a kit. Is that it? I think that's it for Vintage Finds. Just an aside, I'm going to show you something that I did not make, but somebody else did. And I got this at a craft fair. This is one of those old funnels. Now, she took a piece of fabric, it almost looks like cross stitch, and put it on the bottom of the funnel. Can you see? Yeah. Here you go. This is a real deal. It's a really old funnel. You can find these on Etsy. You can find these on eBay and offer up at antique shops all the time. And she just put a very vintage looking feather tree on here and just tied it with, this is coffee dyed. She told me she coffee dyed this trim. And that's it. This took her 5 minutes to make. But I think that's awfully cute. And what a nice little gift for somebody. So this is all fun stuff, excuse me, you can find at Hobby Lobby or Joann's or whatever. But, so this is the contemporary, made to look old stuff, but this is the real deal. And I love the real deal. So I thought this is just very pretty. I hope somebody would think the same. Obviously, she sold a whole bunch of them at a craft show, but just saw this. Well, I walked in this room and I have it on the shelf. I have it out all year because I love it so much. So now on to the fabric. New fabric. Why is there new fabric? Because if I find fabric that I don't have or I haven't seen before or whatever, I'm like, ooh, let me buy that. So first off is Dixie Samplar fabric. I bought this off her page. She no longer, I'm not going to say no longer, you can't buy this anywhere but her page. And it's not cheap, but I think the resale on this is probably higher than what I paid. So this is a 13 by 18 buttercream and a 13 by 18 Old Hickory. And I thought I ordered another one. Let me just make sure. No. Okay. So I don't have it. I got an email. I got to double check and make sure. I thought I ordered a big piece, but I didn't. So just to show you what Dixie Samplar buttercream looks like. It's beautiful. This is buttercream. Again, this is an eighth. And the price on this is $20.66, which is not unreasonable, which means it's an eighth of a yard. It's expensive. So that would be $160 a yard, but it's not common. So I did buy this because I wanted to have it, and 20 bucks for a piece. I think you can spend that. And this is Old Hickory. And this stuff is hard to find. She sells out like unbelievable, like real quick. Old Hickory's got a greenish gray tint to it. It's very pretty. I hope the color comes out. I see what the picture looks like, but I can't tell if the color is accurate. But once I see the video, I'll know. It's got a lot of variegation to it, very much like R&R. Somebody asked me what this stuff feels like. I'd say if you took R&R and Lakeside and combined it, it would be like Dixie Samplar. So, those are two new. This I've never seen. This is actually an entire quarter, fat quarter of 28 count Victorian Red by R&R Reproductions. I've never seen it. I probably will never see it again. When I saw it listed, I made a beeline for it. I was like, oh, it's beautiful. Very nice. Just like most of it, it almost looks like it has creases, and those creases are sort of variegations. Can you see? So it's a red, Victorian red. It's a vintage red. If I had to think of a vintage Christmas red, I would look at this and say this is vintage Christmas red. A variegated red with some white in it. A little bit of white showing through almost. So once again, R&R Reproductions, Victorian red. Okay. Next, another R&R that I have never seen is Sibling Sky. This is about an 18 by 18 piece. And it is turquoise. Now with all those, it's so folded you're not going to be able to see the color. I just want to sort of straighten it out. Here you go. Here's the color. Turquoise. And of course it's got the R&R variegations in it. It's really pretty. Once again, Sibling Sky. And this is 32 count. I will never see this again. Or I should say it's unlikely. So I was very pleased to find this. Am I a linen collector? I don't think so, because I'll sell some of this to people. And I just want to see it and feel it. And now I want to video it and put it on my vintage cross stitch group page. This is, I wish you would have written what this was, but this is Mayflower Gray by Dames of the Needle. I bought this for a project. I have to think about which project I bought it for, but I did. Unbelievably beautiful. Mayflower Gray. I hope. It looks dark, but it's not. Just lovely. Dames of the Needle, Mayflower Gray. And I did get this on the Kitten Stitcher website because she had this, and some of these I have not been able to find. 40 count 18th century rook. I did a project on this, and I remember searching for rook. This is about 3-4 years ago. Could not find it anywhere. Finally found a piece in the wrong count, did it. And then lo and behold, Kitten Stitcher had it on her page. It's a khaki color. I love it. 18th century rook. It's light khaki. I hope this lighting really does it justice. R&R Reproductions, of course. I was thrilled to find this. Another R&R Reproductions that I've never seen, called Vintage Gray. It's light gray. It's just, I'm hoping you can see, light gray with all kinds of variations on it. Variegations, excuse me. This one is called Vintage Gray. So I would have bought more, other than I didn't want to spend $1 million at a time. But this is on Kitten Stitcher's website, Rook. If they're making, maybe R&R is making it again. I was unaware. I mean, there's no listing of what they're making, but I don't see it on anybody else's page. And when I looked for this, I could not find it until Kitten Stitcher got it. And Rook is a beautiful color. I don't think, some people don't like green, but it's got green, it's got brown. I really was very pleased to find this. And of course, Dames of the Needle, which is the Mayflower Gray. It's beautiful. Dames of the Needle is very much like R&R Reproductions, but not quite as stiff. It's beautiful stuff. Okay. And finally, I don't know what these are. These are mystery fabrics that feel like Week Style Works to me, because they're soft, but they're beautiful colors. So mystery fabric number 1, soft gray. Mystery fabric number 2 is just a purple, but a lot of variegations. I'm not sure these are Week Style Works, actually. I don't know what they are, but they're both hand-dyed for sure. I think you can probably tell just from the photo. So that is it for fabric. I'm just looking on my table. One more find is this little book, A Christmas Carol, in a pocket-sized version, a purse-sized version. And everybody who knows me knows I love A Christmas Carol. I think I'm going to read you a passage from A Christmas Carol. And let's close my eyes and open to a page, and that's where I'm going to get the passage from. Okay. There was never such a goose. Bob said he didn't believe there was ever such a goose cooked. Its tenderness and flavor, size and cheapness were the themes of universal admiration. Eked out by applesauce and mashed potatoes, it was a sufficient dinner for a whole family indeed, as Mrs. Cratchit said with great delight, surveying one small atom of a bone upon the dish. They hadn't ate it all at last, yet everyone had enough, and the youngest Cratchits in particular were steeped in sage and onion to the eyebrows. But now the plates being changed by Miss Belinda, Mrs. Cratchit left the room alone, too nervous to bear witness, to take the pudding up and bring it in. I love Dickens, and I love A Christmas Carol. So anyway, I'm just thrilled to find that. So I showed you this last time, and I don't know if you remember my little linen organizational video. I finally organized my linen by color. So we've got our blues. Okay, we've got our blues, we've got our reds, we've got our browns, our tans and whites. We've got our blacks and grays, and our oranges and greens and purples and whatever. So I just put them on here. I love this piece, so that now I can readily see them. It looks like a mop, but I can readily see them, find them, touch them, and pick what I want. And this little box fits perfectly on the bottom, and this has a lot of this has all this extra silks, which of course I don't have a tremendous amount, but this is my extra silk. So I finally organized my floss. Now on to the magazines. So I'll be back. I'm just going to go get them. I'm back. So I'm going to show you two magazines, one old, one new. I guess we'll start off with the old. This is a Just Cross Stitch magazine. Where's the date? And it says the home decor issue. There's no date. I can tell you this is 80s, I think 80s or 90s, and it says April 1994. And what's interesting about some of these magazines is I just realized some of the older ones, I'm just going to move this back, some of the older ones have, like on this page, let me show you, a little Christian saying. Very interesting to me that they did that. Just tells me the owner or the editor was a Christian. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And that is not on an ad. That is on the page here. So anyway, some of the ads in this magazine are really nice too, just to let you know. Here's an ad for DMC Pearl Cotton that shows you, it says, so beautiful you'll be tempted to wear it, and you can see they made it into bracelets. Right? So I think that's kind of neat. Let's go through this. You can see the nice 80s hairstyles. Here is an ad for some patterns called the Fine Arts Heritage Society Renaissance Collection, and you can see the Mona Lisa, and some other interesting patterns. Here's Mona Lisa. So if you're looking for these patterns, they're out there called the Renaissance Collection. They were $8 each back then. And the entire collection, which had 4 of them, was $32, 1994. They had Our Stitchers Ask. I'm just going to scan through this and see if there's anything interesting. What's kind of fun is this would never happen today. So they had Our Stitchers Ask, and they would ask their question and put their name and address that somebody could write them. I don't know, would they do that today? I doubt it. Somebody says, I am looking for designs with chimney sweeps. Another said, I am looking for cross-stitch patterns for a doll's pinafore and apron. Another person said, I would like to find a copy of the leaflet Garfield and Company. So you know how people have searching for on some of the Facebook pages? Was pre-Facebook, pre-internet. Well, was the internet out in '94? It was, but it wasn't very popular. Pre-internet looking for patterns. They would post it in here, Stitchers Ask, with their address. I didn't show it to you very often. I just don't want you to see people's addresses. Nowadays, people are way too private for that. Here's another one. I am looking for any pattern of a truck driving bear, or just a bear driving. A truck driving bear. And I'm looking through these names just to see if there's anybody I recognize, and I really don't. There's so many stitchers out there. Who knows? I'm looking for 2 sampler charts by June Grigg that are now out of print, Southern Sampler and New England Sampler. Well, that might be something somebody would do today. Another person, I am looking for the Gone with the Wind graph that was done for the 50th anniversary of the movie. I've never seen that one. I'd be interested. Anyway, I thought that was an interesting thing they had. They have a whole thing about the Spirit of Cross Stitch Festival. Now they have an entire article on organizing your cross stitch, how to organize, and just organization. They even had a picture of a, here you go, a vintage computer. It's 1994. And let's go through some of these. This is Wedding Memories. It is a blanket, an Afghan. They sell these Afghan materials. Is that it? So that's an Afghan. And let's go through this. Pat Carson is in here. I've heard that name. Pat Carson will be appearing at the Spirit of Cross Stitch Festival as an instructor of mini band sampler, drawn and pulled work sampler, fun sampler, sampler pillow class, precious moments, and narrator of a World of Samplers lecture. Just want to show you this. Pat Carson, 1994. Here's what she was doing. So that was fun. Another pattern called House Sampler by Darlene Osteen. I've heard her name many times. That's called the House Sampler. Was that done on Ada? Done on 29 count natural Glen sheet, which is a very nice linen. Okay, here's a Stitcher Spotlight. Next page, Claudette is her name. I don't think it gave that. It did the rest of it. Elegant decorations. Here's some. Well, I don't think you would do this today, but here's one for one of those curtain, what would you call that? A sash, that pulled back curtain. Here you go. And there's the matching table, and that's kind of interesting. Here's an article on Threads of Gold. We were just talking about Threads of Gold, and I actually picked this up, this magazine up randomly out of a pile. So this was karma. And here is a picture of, who are these people? I don't know their names, but Emily's, just talks about Emily's. Edna and Carol, mother-in-law team, with longtime friend Jeanette Whiteside. Anyway, here's the team who made the Threads of Gold charts, and there's a whole article on Threads of Gold in here. And here is a chart. Does it give the name? I want to show you the chart, but it's called Lauren Sampler. Here you go. By Threads of Gold. Okay. So, a whole article on Threads of Gold. Here's one called Coffee Break, which is by Charlotte Holder, says, backdoor friends are best. Here's one that's a Bengal tiger. Who did this? Mary Ellen Yannick. It's called Bengal Tiger, and a lot of people, I've seen people do these recently. I've seen people post these. But there's your Bengal tiger. Okay. Interesting, huh? Let's see what else. Pennsylvania Dutch Heart. This is very pretty by Teresa Winslow. A lot of back stitching in this. Very, very pretty. Teresa Winslow, Pennsylvania Heart. This is 1994. These are all fairly contemporary designs. This is not. Clowning Around Fish. This is a mobile for a child. I don't know how safe this is. Can a kid get wrapped up in that? They would never, ever have you do something like this for an infant nowadays because there's too much liability in it. But anyway, it's pretty cool. It's got a bunch of fish. I'm shocked that they even did that in '94, but apparently they did. Here's a lesson in how to do the Florentine stitch, and just to show you, they gave you the pattern and they give you an example of Florentine stitch. Here is Stitch Your House. Wow. And there's sort of directions how to stitch your own house. And I think this is really cool. I would love to do this. How did I miss this? I read through these. Anyway, there's directions how to do your own house, and they give 2 examples with all these directions. You take a photo of your house and you build it and do it. That's cool. Okay. Here's one, Wildflowers of North America on a Footstool. For information on the footstool, see page 52. I'm curious to see who makes the footstool, where to find it. Sudbury. They're still in business, and I'm sure they still make the stool. Unbelievably gorgeous. Look at that footstool. I'm pretty sure Sudbury still makes it. I did buy a shaker box from them that was beautifully made, and I have no doubt this is too. Can you imagine having that in your house? It's just so pretty. Can you imagine somebody putting their dirty feet on it? Ooh. Sneakers with mud. Now I have to get back to where we were because I just dropped my page. This Flowers of North America. Footstool. Hot off the press, a whole bunch of, that's another section of theirs. I guess this is an advertising section. They've got interesting stuff. I think that might be it. Here's a thing about Williamsburg needlework seminars. A sheepish design ad. These are very pretty. Sheepish design, still around. And there's a lot of, quite a few ads in here. One of these is a sewing, quilting, needle art, craft and supply show, and they actually had it at a number of different venues. You don't really see this very much anymore, but I would love to go to a show like that. Lap Frame by Kay's Creations. Here is Tomorrow's Treasures. I don't think they're in business anymore. They made those frames with the Velcro. And a bunch of ads for computerized cross stitch. That's interesting. And ads for stores. Let's see if I find my own store in here. Just out of curiosity, there's classifieds, people selling stuff. And I think that's about it. One more thing in here I just want to show you is outfits that you would never wear. Here's your nice 90s outfits. I would certainly, 93, I was 93, 97, I was a resident, so I was already in my 20s. I guess I would have worn it back then. And now the final segment is going to be a punch needle and primitive stitcher. I am not going to show you any charts, and I'm not going to show you the punch needle because this is about cross stitch. But this is a fall one. This is got to be recent because it's got the Creative Twist by Vanna Pfeiffer in it. Where's the month and date? This is the 2018 fall issue. Before you know it, we'll be getting the 2019 fall issue. So this is the last fall issue. These issues keep getting heavier, just to let you know. So I'm going to try to not double these up and just randomly show them to you. The first design is by Joyce Reed of Joyce Reed Folk Art, called Prim Turkey, done on prairie cloth linen. I do not know what that is, but that's awfully prim, and it's really nice, and it looks like a quick stitch for sure. There's a little asterisk by it when it says prairie cloth linen, available at prairiepointjunction.com. I'm going to have to look that up because I don't know what prairie cloth is. We'll find out. By the picture I'm looking at, it almost looks like Ada, so I don't know, but it is awfully pretty. Next, C is for Crow by Roveris. Next is Salem's Finest Brew by Kaniki's. Before I show this to you, I'm just curious to know if she did it on Kaniki's linen. She didn't. She said 36 count coffee stain linen, available at Kaniki's, so I guess she left it open. But this is Salem's Finest Brew. I love her finish. I love her finish. Isn't that pretty? Kaniki's does sell these charts on her online store, kanikis.com, but the linen is, she's not really dyeing it very much, and you have to go to her Facebook page. I don't know if it's her private page or if she has a Kaniki's page, I don't remember, but she periodically will sell some. I hope she starts making it again. The linen is very nice. Here is the Creative Stitcher, the famous Vanna featured design, Witch's Night Out by Brenda Gervais, and she is going to show you how to make this finish. And of course, I am not going to show you because you have to buy the magazine, but this is the finish. Can you see? That's by Brenda Gervais. And there's complete directions how to make this, which is really cute. And I'm just curious to know what that base is. Let's see. Choose your candlestick and stitch the design. What does that mean? Here you go. I chose a black pedestal type candlestick from Hobby Lobby. I have done this finish before using wooden candlesticks that I painted for a unique and custom finish. So I would imagine you have to figure out how big your design is and then you buy. It's one of those candlesticks that you would put a pillar candle on, just to let you know. I don't know why she didn't say the word pillar candle, but that would probably make the sense. You look for a pillar candle. And there's complete directions in here, and when I mean complete, there are pictures. It's unbelievable how detailed these are, and I'm not showing them to you. You have to get the magazine. But very nice. And then there is another one. This is Giulia Manfredini. This is called With a Fall Twist. It's so cute. It's an ornament. Looks like a dress. Very cute. And interesting, she's got also some detailed instructions how to finish that ornament here. Tulip House by Teresa Miller of Teresa's Primitive Treasures. Teresa is a member of the Vintage Cross Stitch Niche Facebook page, and Teresa is actually Teresa's Primitive Treasure pages. I didn't know that a page can be a member, so her page is a member. Anyway, this one's called Tulip House. Very prim, very pretty. Teresa's Primitive Treasures has frames and all kinds of interesting stuff for finishing as well as patterns. She has these sifter frames that are quite nice. I'm going to put links to this stuff, a lot of this, just so you can have it. Somebody suggested that. This one is called Witch Ride by Barbara Anna. Oh, it's so cute. And I love all the buttons. Barbara Anna Witch Ride. And that is a cute finish with those buttons. I never would have thought of doing that. There's a whole expose on Sassy Jack's Stitchery. In case you're interested, it just shows the people that work there and own it and the beautiful house it's in. A lot of ads. This one is called Autumn Berries by Sub Rosa. Sub Rosa design. Very, very cute. It's for a pincushion. This one is called Haunt On by the Primitive Hare, Isabella Abbiati, the Primitive Hare. Keep calm and haunt on. I really like this one. I had a little sticky note next to this one. It's very, very cute. And she said 18 by 20 crispy October 30 count linen. What is crispy October 30 count linen? If anybody has seen it, please comment below, because I've never heard of this. And the little asterisk says it's available on theprimitivehare.com. I'm going to look it up. Crispy October linen. I don't know what it is. It's very pretty. And this is probably one of my favorite things in here. It's really nice. I think that's it. Let's see. No more. Okay. I did forget something. I wanted to show you a follow-up to my last video, which talked about thinking outside the box, and I should have showed you this last time. I know I've shown you this before, but I wanted to, again, do a follow-up. This is Ocean Gallery by Country Cross Stitch. What year is this made? 1987, okay? And these are beautiful motifs. They really are. And I'm going to do this guy, the pelican, because I like pelicans. But I wanted to jazz it up a bit. So just to show you, thinking outside the box, I'm going to do it on an ocean-colored painter's threads. This is painter's threads, hand-painted linen. With colors, there were so many DMC colors in it that I sort of almost got a little lost. I'm gonna have to photo. I don't in general photocopy, make a working copy. Of course, my photocopy would be destroyed but I'm gonna make a working copy, and I'm going to relabel the threads so I can keep track. But I spent all this effort, time, and money on making a conversion with a lot of threads, so I have quite a bit left over, but I want you to get the idea. This is an extreme thinking outside the box. Extreme. Because we are doing this pelican on this fabric with these threads. If you don't see it, you will see it when I'm done, because I'm obviously going to show this, and I have to start this just because. And that's extreme thinking outside the box. I can't wait to do that. Anyway, that is the follow-up to my past video. I don't know how long this video is. I was going to make it short. Videos done, so you can turn it off. The only, if you don't want to hear anymore, the only thing is I just would like people to comment. I do take constructive criticism. I have a lot of likes and I have some dislikes, and of course nobody wants to see dislikes. So I try to ignore it and say, why does somebody not like my video? Is it that I talk too much? Is it the lighting? Is it the material? Is it me? Or is it just the way it is? Or does somebody not like me for something I said on a page and seeks me out and does it, which would be awfully paranoid, and I don't think that's true. I'm experimenting. I'd like to continue doing these videos because I don't think anybody else does a video like mine. In order for me to continue doing these videos, I do need more people watching them. I do have probably a few hundred at least watch every video, so that makes me feel good. And people do comment on it on the Vintage Cross Stitch niche page. So, and the feedback I get there is obviously positive because people are a member of the page. But tell me what's good. Tell me if you like this room versus the other room I was using, which was my dining room. This is the piano room. And I thank everybody for helping make this whole thing grow. We're up to 621 members on the Vintage Cross Stitch niche page. I just did a 600 giveaway. We're almost at the 650 giveaway. My giveaways are amazing because I will give away an entire kit with 1/8 of fabric, much of it hard to find fabric, in interesting colors with overdyed threads, vintage items, buttons, you name it, whatever I think will work on that fabric. So, you know, and I do this because this is something I enjoy. I'm not the owner of a business. I don't have an online shop. I don't have an Etsy shop. I do this because this is fun for me. I'm a physician. I know I've said that before, and this is like an aside. It's something that is not medicine, that is all mine. So I'm really happy. I know I said the last thing. There really is a last thing. I'm going to show you this mantle because you just have to see it. So let me just get my, get this. And what I'm going to do is flip this over so you can see it. So this mantle was left here. And I told you I live vintage. Don't pay attention to those airplanes in here. They don't belong here. But this belonged to my husband's grandmother. Most people would throw it out, but I put it on here. I thought it was kind of cool. And this is the 1970s fireplace. Can I turn it on? Yeah, I'm going to turn this on. Let's see, where is it? There we go. Can you, I think it's going to look better with the light closed. There you go. That is pretty cool, and I do run it for Christmas. Anyway, let's turn it off because I don't want to, I think the sound is distracting, and this is old. Who knows how long it'll actually work for. This is an original mantle. This mantle, who knows where it came from, but it is solid wood. It is pretty much mint condition. The thought of taking this mantle out just never occurred to me. What do we use it for? Pictures. Those are my kids. That's my best friend, my husband. That clock belonged to my husband's grandma as well. So we have a lot of stuff in this room just to show you. I still have a Christmas tablecloth on here. Talk about not taking your Christmas stuff down. But this is our piano. And just one more thing, what's hanging in this room is something I made a long time ago on one of my Ada pieces. Time endures but cannot fade. The love that excuse me. Time endures but cannot fade. The memories that love has made. Kelly and Natalie. And I made this from a kit, and you can see that's 2011. It was 9 years ago. And one of my vintage pieces. Let's go back. So anyway, from my home to yours, and now you got to see a little more of my house. This room's sort of a fun room. Keep stitching.